Hello, I'm Michael Littlecrow. I am going to be your instructor, your lecturer for this Math 117 Summer Session B. Just a little bit about me. I've been at the ASU for 3 full years now. I taught at Scottsdale Community College for 14 years before that, and I was at Oregon State University in the Education Opportunities Program for 6 years before that. So I've been teaching for a while. Before that, I was in financial planning, insurance, mutual funds, those kind of things for about 13 years. So that's my experience, and I'm happy to work with you. Also, I have while I was going through college, I found out I had a learning disability. I'm dyslexic. But fortunately, I had a professor who was dyslexic who helped me understand how to see it as a strength. So I'm happy to work with anyone who learns differently. I learn differently. I'm a slow learner, but once I learn, I usually have it down deep. So I want to just kind of take a few minutes here. I want to make this brief as possible, while at the same time connecting with you and letting you know that you have a place, you have a person you can always come to and work through things. My goal is that you achieve your goals, and hopefully your goal is to try to get through college algebra with a nice firm foundation so that you can go on to that next math class that you need to take and be successful. We have a lot of options to get you that kind of understanding that you're going to need. And one of those things is even we do have what's called a stretch course, which if you don't complete this course in the 6.5 weeks that we have set, or you don't get a C or better, then you're going to get a free semester to stretch it out. And what you'll do is you'll kind of start the course again, but hopefully what you've learned in these 6 weeks will help you start further along in the course. Okay, so let's see what I want to do here. I want to switch over to our Canvas course. So this is the way you enter into the course. You go to your My ASU, click on the link to the course, and it should take you to Canvas. And in here, the first thing you want to do, and again, more than 80% of you have done it at this point, is you want to go to Alex, because that will link together the Canvas course with the Alex course, the online homework, the testing, everything. So there's two components to what we do, and they do somewhat talk to each other. Some things have to get transferred over manually, but about 90%, I think it is, of our content is done in Alex. There's a few things done outside of Alex, but 90% is completed in Alex. So you want to click on this, and then you click on this, and it'll take you over to Alex. Now, and then it asks you if you've ever used Alex before. The first time you do that, you want to say no, that you've never used Alex, at least with this Canvas account. And so that will take you in and pair your two accounts. What I'm going to do is I'm going to enter Student View and show you just kind of a few things. The first thing, once you do enter into Alex, well, let's go through this. I had to reset it. So there's a brief tutorial, and it has you kind of get used to what Alex does. I'm going to skip it, but it has you learn how to input things, and so you have to go through the tutorial. I don't, so I'm going to skip it. Okay, and then the first thing you're going to need to do is do what's called an initial knowledge check. This is where Alex, the system, gives you, I think, about 30 questions, and it determines what you know and what you don't know, and then it sort of places you in the appropriate place so that you can be learning the things you don't know, but not having to go through the things you do know. Now, it's important that you complete this on your own, because if you have a ringer completed, you'll start in the course and you won't know necessarily what you're supposed to do. So make sure it's your knowledge that's being checked. Okay, I'm going to start the knowledge check, and again, as instructor, I had a cool thing. I can actually skip this. I start it, and then over here it's going to let me skip the knowledge check. Now you won't be able to, because it needs to check it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to skip it, and I'm going to say I've got, let me just start off with maybe moderate knowledge. So if you have moderate knowledge, Well, actually, that looks like a lot of knowledge to me. Notice I'm starting because my initial knowledge check says I know about 186 of the topics, and so that's where I would start. Um, so now I'm ready to start learning topics, so I click on continue, and that's the main thing you need to get completed. That's the start of the class. If that's not completed, then we, by the date in the syllabus, then I withdraw students because I'm assuming by that time, if you haven't started, you forgot about the class or something. Anyway, then what you do is you start my path, and then what the goal is this week is to complete 30 more topics on top of what the knowledge check shows you as mastering. Okay, so you just start my path, and it takes you to that topic wherever you got placed, and it gives you a little bit of information. You review it, and then you go ahead and start going through. Well, something. You gotta something. It's got all these checks it wants you to check. Okay, so you start on it, then it actually gives you the question. If you go through and get it right, I think if you get 2 in a row, it'll say, okay, you get some bonus things and you're able to move on. If you don't get 2 in a row, you miss one, you might have to do 3 in a row. And anyway, it's a mastery type system where you will work, at a minimum, you'll work each of the topic type questions at least twice. Okay, so, and again, it gives you all this information as you go through, put in your stuff and you check it. What I want to show you though is a couple things that you can check on. So this is our drop down menu, and here we're in learn mode right now. We're going to learn. When you go to take tests, you can go back and go through a review mode, which will show you the I'll just show you that. You can click on this, and if you click on this double, we call it the double drop down, there's a one drop down arrow, and then in a moment you'll see another drop down. It's the review. It shows all the stuff that I've completed. So like unit 1 I'm already done, but it's got 85 topics. I could go back and review any of those topics. Okay, so this is a way to go back and review. Okay, you don't get any credit or anything, you're just reviewing. It doesn't do anything. But if you're in learn, you're able to do kind of the same thing. Do the double drop down if you want to kind of, it'll show you what topics you have that are ready to learn. I'm in unit 2. If there's no locks, like if I don't really want to do this one, I want to do this one, I could do that. You can jump to the next one. However, you'll see some have a lock on it. You can't do those until you do something beforehand, so it's not ready to learn. And notice I can't go back to unit 1 because I've learned them all, mastered them all. Okay. The other thing that's important is to look at your grade book and reports. Those are 2 important things. Let's go to the grade book first. So once you do complete your first topic goal, you'll see 100% here, and that's one way to kind of check. If it's not 100%, it means you haven't finished it all. But it's a quick way to see. And notice topic goal 2 is not showing up yet, but it would be here eventually. Okay, so topic goal 1. And then as you take the exams, the scores will appear here. Okay, quickly. Reports. This is kind of nice. It gives you, you're able to see your pie, that you have the 186 topics out of a total of 370 in the pie. Here's a kind of a cool feature, is you can see what objective you're working on. This course has 4 objectives. Each objective, you complete it, and then you take a test. So objective 1 is completed, you take test 1. So view the full report. You see I've completed objective 1, so I should take test 1 as within a week of doing that, or sooner, because it's going to be fresh in my mind, right? Once I do complete unit 2, I will see this become 100%. It's time to take the test. Okay, move on to unit 3, and notice some of you've actually, like I skipped ahead, right? But I've already got 39 of the topics mastered from that initial knowledge check. So I have only 45, and even for unit 4, I've got 5 already down and 42 to go. Okay, so it's reports. So the important one is grade books, see what you've done. Reports, kind of see how you're pacing, what you're doing, and where you're going, and back to learn. This is what you do. You work, you learn these topics, you review this stuff, it gives you information, you start it, and just keep going. Again, 30 topics due by Sunday night. The system, I don't remember if I have it automatic or whether I manually have to do it. If I manually do it, I'll do it Monday morning. I don't wake up at midnight to try to figure out what's going on. But I will do it fairly early in the morning. But again, you can always check your Alex gradebook, as well as coming back here, and if you go to grades, you can check, and I'm in student mode, so it should just show, it's not going to show everybody else's, it should show something like this, and it's organized by due dates, so you kind of see in the order how things are going. Okay, now again, Canvas is something that I update personally, manually. So it's not that, hey, you completed something, it's done. When you do problem set 1, you're going to submit it. It'll take time to get it graded. Our IA does the grading, and they will be doing that all together. So after the due date. Okay, so that's kind of how that goes. But basically, just kind of keep working. The main thing is finish all, for success in the course, finish all 307 topics, question level topics, 307 of them. Finish the 4 exams, and each unit has, it has a number of topics you have to do for that objective. They call it objective or a unit. There's a problem set for each of those, each objective, and there's an exam for each objective. Exam 1 is only over objective 1. Exam 2 is only over objective 2. Exam 3 is only over objective 3. But the 4th one includes stuff from test 2 and test 3. Test 1 you don't get tested on again. Okay, so one last thing, and then when you get to the tests, one of the best ways to prepare is to go to, we have some study guides. And those are, sorry about that, I switched modes on here. I got to be careful what shows up in, okay, I can show you this part now. So you kind of see unit 1, you do your topics, there's a problem set, there's all this help, and there is, here it is, exam topics and study guide. So you click on that. These are all the topics that are in objective 1, but what you'll want to do is you want to look at the test 1 review. Let's just go ahead and do that. You can download it, it's a PDF. They are questions that have been taken out of Alex. I believe the test itself will have 11 questions. The practice has 31, and there's answers here. So you can go through and make sure you got to the answers, work it multiple times. The 11 questions on the exam will be taken from this subset of 31 questions. Okay, so each one, so once you get to the exam, focus on the study guide and you'll be well prepared for that test. Okay, I don't know how many minutes this was. I apologize if it wasn't too brief. But remember, when you've got videos, you can always fast forward or watch them at double speed. That's what I always do. I'm also take in a graduate program, so there's a lot to do. We got to learn to go quickly through some things. Anyway, please contact me if you have any questions. I will, even though Monday is a holiday, I will be available for my office hours. Then I'll be putting a link in to Canvas with my office hours, which are in the syllabus already, and so come say hello and get any questions that you have answered, but just keep making that progress. Take that knowledge check, initial knowledge check, work on the topics, get 30 of them done by Sunday night, and all will be just fine. Keep that progress going and moving forward. Thanks.